Chip names such as AMD and NVIDIA leading the charge for stocks as they closed out August with more all-time highs. Bernstein's Stacey Rasgon is joining us now, and he's got names he likes to continue at least that run for a while. Stacey, I mean, NVIDIA, Qualcomm, Broadcom, AMD, I think all of them hitting all-time highs yesterday.
Probably, yeah.
What's an analyst to do? Do the fundamentals support all of that? Do you have to just kind of go bend yourself into a pretzel to sort of justify some of your price targets?
Well, not exactly. So let's talk about where the sector's kind of come year to date. Obviously, you know, nobody had a global pandemic on their scorecard when things started out. And when everything hit, I mean, people were sort of applying the global financial crisis as the most likely filter to look at the current crisis through. And that's kind of what happened in March, like everything collapsed. But we've seen something interesting as this has gone along, is that semis, by and large, have proven quite resilient in the wake of the global situation. We've got changes in consumer behavior, work from home, that's actually been driving and supporting demand far above, I think, what anybody had hoped for. And so now if we're kind of looking forward, we've got a few things. Demand has held up much better than people thought. We've actually got a growth story for a number of these names, particularly ones that are benefiting from some of these trends. And if you're sort of looking at the current situation, I think it's just validating how important technology, and I think by proxy, semiconductors are. I mean, I couldn't even imagine doing something like this, say, if this had happened 20 years ago. And so it's giving investors a little more confidence maybe to look through what's going on right now, especially when they're seeking structural or secular stories that you'd want to own for the long term. And a lot of the names that you just mentioned, I think, fit into that category. And in this environment where investors are certainly paying up for growth and those kind of opportunities, these stocks are working.
Right. Okay. So have you actually increased your estimates of long-term growth rates for some of these names and therefore are willing to accept a far higher multiple as well?
I mean, some of them, yeah. So, for example, like in our coverage, we've got a number of outperforms. Two of them I would classify as sort of secular, and those are NXP and I'm sorry, not NXP, NVIDIA and Qualcomm. And certainly, I mean, NVIDIA numbers have just been going up by leaps and bounds. Data centers on a tear. It's holding in very well, even as we're going into a potential digestion phase within data center broadly. NVIDIA is holding up super strongly because we have a product cycle that's playing out as well as secular trends. And the gaming cycle that they're about to kick off looks to be a monster, and so numbers are going up a ton. And with Qualcomm, I mean, look, Qualcomm's been deaf to own for half a decade, but mostly because of regulatory and customer disputes that have been sitting on the trend. Those are now mostly clear now that they settled the Huawei issues, and things are clean to look forward to the 5G cycle, which and the Apple cycle, which are just starting to come up. And so again, the same thing. Those kind of growth rates, those sort of estimate expectations have been going up leaps and bounds, and the stocks have been working on that.